All right, so this video is a long video. I think I'm 38, not 39 minutes in. I'm gonna keep this as part one. I'm gonna go through, so it might be an hour and some change, but that's cool, because what I'm gonna do is you go to caps in full G and you could get the whole version of it. I'm not doing a part one and part two, but I will cut this part out. If you can see, I'm wearing green. In the beginning of this video, I was wearing blue. All right, so you could separate the two and figure it out. But I'm getting straight to the point about embracing being a virgin. Now, in the beginning, if you go to my channel and see the rest of it, I explain losing my virginity at 7 to a young girl at 11, 12, or 13, right? I talk about where your generation, Gen Z, is going, right, with synthetic humans. I talk about me as Generation X growing up, and I'm showing you the psychological situations in my head when I got touched first at the age of 7 and losing my virginity, right? So all that is in consideration for me to build up to this part to say that I got value to say what I got to say at the age of 52, and I'm Generation X, and losing my virginity at a young age, and explaining psychologically losing it, right? And how it affected me with my hypersexual and my situation at that age, and how I'm showing you there's value, that I have value to explain what I'm saying to you, to the next generation. Now, like I said in the beginning of part one, which is going to be the same video, but I'm going to take this part out just in case somebody want to use this as an example, or put it on their Instagram, or take a part of it, or whatever it is. Because I don't have Instagram and I don't have Facebook. I don't like to be in cyberspace too much. I only have YouTube. I have X, which was called Tweet, but I use that to hear what the boxes' responses are. I never commented on it or said anything. I just use it just to listen to the commentation of boxers and the bullish that they talking about, right? So now that we are here, like I said, this is going to be a long video, and I'm okay with it. You will see that if you saw the beginning, you'll understand some things of why I'm saying what I'm saying now. Now, when I say embrace being a virgin, don't be afraid to say it. Matter of fact, there's indirect ways of saying it and there's direct ways of saying it. If you're in a one-on-one situation with a woman, you could always bring it up, right? Always bring it up and say, look, I'm a virgin. Now, there's only a couple of things you're going to get out of this. There's two kinds of women, or 2 or 3 kind of women that is going to respond to you. Now, if you tell a woman, I am a virgin, straight up, right? It's either she's going to look at you and say, well, I'm experienced and I need more experience, right? And she would just ghost you. And what I would say to that is, thank you very much, skip to your loo and scram. Because when you be direct or indirect, but when you be direct with something, most of the women want Chad or Tyrone or Chang. They want a fulfillment. It's a self-interest. They want to feel that self-interest of being pleased, and they can't get it from a virgin. Okay, so that's one of the things that you're going to get, and that's something you want from them to leave, because they have self-interest. They don't care that you are a virgin, and they actually do care because you're not going to bring anything to the table. You see what I'm saying? Remember what I said in the beginning of this video. I said a woman's value and loyalty to her man is when her man has nothing, and a loyalty to a man to a woman is when he has everything, right? So it's either we be direct or indirect to get answers, and not with the mouth, but when a woman's action. And that's one of our actions saying, well, there's nothing I could do with you because there's nothing you could show me. Well, then she'll skip to her loo and scram. And that's what we want. We want to get rid of time-consuming people, right? That's going to lead you to nowhere and waste your time. Because I'm going to tell you right now, at 52, time is more valuable than money and anything else. All right? You're not there yet, but when you get to that age, you'll be like, listen, I got to, right? So now you might get another kind of woman. If this woman tells you, oh, man, you're a virgin? Now, I could attest to this. She might get her rocks off taking your virginity. You know? So I've been there and done that. I explained that in the beginning of this video. She might get her rocks off taking your virginity. So in other words, she's going to pump and dump you. But she's going to give you some kind of experience her way. Right? Now, we got the woman that's a virgin. So you having a one-on-one direct conversation with women, and it comes out that you're a virgin. She said, well, you know what? I'm a virgin too. And I say, yeah? Now, there's a couple ways she's going to go about this. She's going to either say, oh, you're a virgin? Yeah, I'm a virgin too, but, you know, we could link up and whatever. And then she ghosts you. Thank you. Kick rocks with Gucci flip-flops. Be on your way, because at the end of the day, she wants an experienced man, right? And half the time, you will get an experienced man. And half the time, you will get some experience. You know what your experience is going to get? A pump and dump. Now, you might get lucky and get that one man, but that's a minority, not the majority. So, just like certain women don't want you because you don't have no value. See, when I told you this. I said, a woman's loyalty and value is when a man has nothing. That's not just dinero. That doesn't mean guap. That doesn't mean just money. That means sexual experience. Yeah. So you got to look at it in two ways or whatever. Because remember, it's protected and provide and sexual matters, right? So if this woman that's a virgin don't see any value that you're a virgin and she wants experience for her cherry to get popped, and she wants to chat or the Tyrone or whatever fantasy she wants fulfilled with a certain typical type, well then let her go on. Now, a woman that is a virgin, young woman, and let's say you're 18 and she's 19 or 18 or 17, and she and you tell her you're a virgin, right? And she's like, wow, I'm a virgin too. Now it's up to, remember, the man is a gateway to relationship. A woman is a gateway to sex. It is what it is. But see, one thing I know as a man is that if I'm a virgin and you're a virgin, that takes half the anxiety. How you say the word? You know, all that pent up, you know, anxiety of worrying how to perform. Because y'all both virgins. It's a beautiful thing. You're both virgins. So, and half the time when a man have sex with a woman for the very first time, majority of time he pops off fast. Okay, so now he don't have that anxiety anymore. Okay, and also she don't have that anxiety. And one thing that I know, that most men that have a virgin woman, they want to mold her. But guess what? It goes both ways now, because she see that you're a virgin, I know you're a virgin, we can mold each other. Because I know one thing from experience, that every woman is different in the bed. Every woman's different, and every woman climax different and have orgasms. Some have one or two more, and then there's women that have 20 or 13 or 15 orgasms, if you know how to push the buttons right. All right, so it's beautiful that both of y'all, so now you're going to see how much value indirectly, because directly you tell her the truth, but now you want to see her actions, not her words. So she still stick around with you, if she still wants to go on dates, if she still wants to participate in being with you, her actions speak louder than her words. See how we working here? I know this is very hard to understand. In other words, I told you that there's going to be 90% of men that's going to laugh and giggle and don't understand where I'm coming from. And I say, look at the beginning of the video. And then there's going to be 10% that still want to protect and provide in the land of the lost. Okay? Because it's built in us. It's ingrained in us. Okay? So we're going to want this, and we want to have our own family. I showed you this in part 1 where I had to change my moves and shit, right? And I explained that. So I'm talking to the 10%. That's it. And like I said, if you can't get it here, you could go somewhere else and get it. United States is not the one all everybody's answer. There's a whole world out there. You could find what you're looking for somewhere else. And when I say that, I'm not being Dirty Dick Tyrone that's going overseas, been there, done that with all the bullshit, going just to get sex. Maybe this man wants a family to provide and protect and have his own family, right? So you could go different places. Remember, women nature never change. It's society to give them these easy way outs. And if the society she's in, it don't have easy way outs, well, of course she's going to provide. She's going to want somebody to provide and protect.
Were to go to Asia, where would I go to find a great girlfriend?
I think usually just go to the rural area because they grow them cute and they are not polluted by capitalism because all the major cities like Beijing and Shanghai. How much money you have?
Really?
What car you drive?
Wow.
The nice Chinese girl in the rural area who grew up raising sheep and cows and feeding pigs and growing corns, they just have big hand, big feet to work. They don't even know they are pretty. And they would just feel very lucky to find a nice man who respect them and love them.
So as you can see, this woman's talking about the difference of a woman in the city and in the country, right? So women's nature never changed. I don't care if you go to DR, Colombia, Brazil, Thailand. Just remember, a woman's nature, just like a man's nature, is never going to change. A woman's nature not going to change. All right. The benefits around her will make her change. Okay. But always stick to basic one-on-one with women and basic one-on-one on man. Okay. So if you go out to one of these countries and get got, you're an idiot. All right. Just remember. So that plays a part. This whole world is a whole world that you could find a mate, not just the United States, okay, or whatever. But before I get to this next part, it all depends on how you look, how you mentally, how you move. A lot of things take in consideration before I move on. But another basic one-on-one that you got to understand, let this woman talk it, because I'm letting the women say it, not the man. I'm letting the woman say this so you can understand this.
Monogamy was invented by men. Men need monogamy.
Because they wanted to, was it because the average man wanted to have a beautiful woman?
No.
Why was it?
No. Monogamy is necessary because if you say we're going to develop a polygamous community, well, what happened is what the women will do, because women, we are genetically wired to want to procreate with the biggest, strongest, richest man. This is embedded in us. It's nothing anyone could play God to say that I'm not like that. Yes, you are, sis. God made you that way. And it's for a reason. It's how you keep the human race going. Not all men are meant to be carried on. Some are meant to die out in their lifetime.
That is so true. You might not have been her first pick, but at the end of the day, she have to pick somebody and move on if her biological clock is ticking and she needs to have a family. All right? So you might not be the first pick. It doesn't always work that way. It's so funny in the animal kingdom, the bucks, the rams, the lions, they decide by fighting who gets the pride of the women, right? They decide. And they're not sharing with another man. They're not sharing with another animal, right? Another male animal. They're not sharing. They got about 10 or 15 on the pride. It's all theirs, right? Because they earned it, because they fought for it, right? But it's a switcheroo with humans, right? Because the females pick the man majority of the time because they got to, remember, gateway to relationship, they gateway to sex. So they're the ones that pick who they want to pass on generation and procreate and all this stuff like that. So I understand where she's coming from. You can't blame the game. You got to understand the game so you can move on and know where you fit in. So everything depends on natural selection and physical attraction. That's the bottom line, right? And if you don't have that physical attraction, you got to work a little bit harder. All right? That's it. Okay? So what goes on in the animal kingdom and still goes on here. Some men is not going to be doing, look, let me tell you, love is not guaranteed. Relationships is not guaranteed. Passing on your bloodline ain't guaranteed. That's just the way it is. Just like in the animal kingdom, not every animal is going to mate. Not every animal is going to mate. So we got to have a grounded understanding of how things are moving in the human race. Okay? That's what we got to do. I know the Generation Z has a problem right now. They got a real big problem on dating. And what I have to do is let you know where I see how I see things, so then when I explain things, you can understand how I explain it. So let's listen to this young lady talk about how hard it is on dating apps, right? And I'll move on.
come across that are very anti-men. Not anti-men like men are trash sort of way, but more so I'm living such a peaceful, happy, chilled life without a man in my life that I don't need a man. I'm happy with my friend, happy with my family, happy with my job. I'm so chilled and zen. There's that side of the internet that I see, but then there's also this side of the internet that says like, this is my prime. I'm 25. I want to settle down. I'm ready to have kids. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that. And they can't find someone that they want. I've made a video on why Gen Z is undateable and how there's so many different things as a generation that we struggle with that make it really hard for us to find the right person. This is kind of a follow-up, but more a follow-up of just like how opposing our views are and how it makes perfect sense that we're struggling today. The culture of men on dating apps and the culture of women on dating apps, the perceptions that we all have of each other is just totally different. And I feel like that's why a lot of us are just struggling right now. This comment that I saw summarized hookup culture so well. Dating for women is like shopping. Dating for men is like a job interview. I understand that men are struggling a lot on the apps because it's like you have to be really attractive and really tall and you have to present yourself a certain way, otherwise you get no matches. Like it's really common for a guy to go on a dating app for like a few weeks and swipe on people, but literally have 0 matches, which as a girl, you can literally be an average looking girl and that will not be the case. Whether that
That happens for 2 reasons. One, the dating apps gatekeep all the features that force men to pay. They know men are the primary payers of using those dating apps, so they'll lock away their matches. They'll bury them in the search area for women that are swiping. Like, it's all on purpose. So you're getting 0 matches. It's a twofold problem. Probably because you're unattractive or just average, but also because the dating app itself is actually getting you primed to pay for its services so it can show you more of your matches. Like, it's a bait and switch. So for the first 24 hours, you're going to get a couple matches and you're going to go, wow, this is great. And then they'll completely starve you out of anything, making it seem like you need to get the premium service to be shown to people again, to have priority on the match list, to pop up like a fucking like a paid advertisement at the top of the search results. It's insane. They do this on purpose because that's the only way they can make money. All the dating apps are shit. The algorithms actually work extremely well, but they are gatekept behind those paid features. Part 2 of the problem is like what we mentioned before. Yeah, you could typically be average and get passed up for the more attractive men, but for the most part, when they weren't so heavy on the pay to win, pay to play features, they were working. Average people were matching with average people. It's just that a lot of guys' profiles don't get shown, and the culture evolved through time to be like mass swiping, to be robotic answers, and essentially like reduced down to, okay, let's meet at this time when. So people are scheduling multiple dates with each other. There's a whole dating culture that revolved around, women are getting the paradox of choice where they're being bombarded with so many options to choose from. They don't know, like the kid in a candy store, like doesn't know, is looking at a million different chocolates and has no idea where to start, which one to pick. And it's like the shiniest wrapper that gets your attention is the first one that gets picked. And then they get pumped and dumped. And then they get depressed. And then they become bitter. And then they start to blame all men. And then that's because the only men they see are the shiniest wrappers of men. But all the bottom barrel, scraping off your feet, the roaches are crawling over, that bottom shelf full of dust that no one's looking at. Yeah, those guys are completely ignored. They get no matches at all, but they're lumped in with all the assholes nonetheless. It's kind of insane what's happening. Dating apps have shifted the power in a specific top 5 percentile of men and then like the top 80 percentile of women, basically.
Yeah, I'm sorry to laugh, but listening to that, it's like, man, it's over. It's over because in my generation X, it was so easy to approach a woman, right? See, now approaching is not the problem. Getting denied is not the problem. It's how the woman responds to you. That's the biggest part. And back then, I'm going to let you know how they used to respond. They still had respect for a man. So even if I'm not her type, she'll break me down slowly and nicely, and I can move on my way. Now, in this time, if you say, hey, hello, how you doing? Oh my God, all this static and beef and screaming out loud and making it look like you're doing something wrong. She's ready to prosecute you right away, right? And everybody will look around like, what did you do to that woman? So I see the difference in the times. See, that's why I say these millennials and these Gen Zs can't tell me nothing, because they can't feel what I felt. I can feel what they feeling, right? If I put myself in that position, but I don't have to put myself in that position. But I hear it all the time. When you approach a woman, it's rah, 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 right? And how dare you look at me and look at you? How dare you come up to me? But the man is shooting his gift. He's shooting his shot, no matter what. He has confidence, no matter what he looked like. He might be too short. He might be too fat. But back then, the woman approaching the situation was more respectable to a man. Where you humbly put a man down, and he'll be on his way. He don't feel like, you don't put that man down, because a man is a man, right? And how he feels. Now, the difference in this time now is that men are more feminist, whatever you want to call it, and women are more masculine, right? So, men that approach women, they might not have the chest they can't cope with it, so they might hit you upside your head. I'm just telling a woman, or he might get violent. because he's emotionally damaged, okay? In this generation. Before I go on to tell you how precious it is to be a virgin and be proud of it, let's listen to Legion of Man and let him break this down so quickly. So now I can move on and tell you, like I did in the beginning of this video, right? Because this is still part 1, but I'm showing you what's the reasons why being in a relationship is so important and why society. You know what? Let me just move on and let you listen to him.
You're right, actually. She was like, we're so scared of catching feelings, but like catching feelings is normal. Like that is just, it's not like this big.
Yeah, but the problem is you become desensitized and broken, and this is what men are having to deal with. You caught so many feelings for your type, Chad and Tyrone, that you can't even have feelings anymore for a normal dude. You can't have feelings anymore even for the next Chad and Tyrone because your feelings have been broken so much. You go into this hermit style of thinking. You build all these walls to protect yourself emotionally. This is what we call emotional damage. Men are done dealing with women that are emotionally damaged. They can't even bond anymore. Pair bonding is broken because you've been pumped and dumped and had your heart broken and emotions shattered a million times by a specific group of men that you cannot keep your hands off of because all women want that clearance rack item that's actually in good condition. You do it to yourselves. Bro, I can spout this shit off nonstop, day in and day out. They don't listen. It goes in one ear, out the other, because nobody wants to settle because their fear is ending up alone. So then they go into the dating pool getting pumped and dumped. And by the time they're spit out, they're husks of themselves. And they treat all men with 1,000-cock stare, soulless eyes. You're sitting across the table from some chick that's gotten ran through so much, bro, that she just has that like glazed look in her eyes, and you're just sitting there like, Jesus Christ, I can tell there's something wrong with this one. And that's what it is, bro. They're shut off. By the time they meet a decent man that's willing to take care of them, willing to marry them, willing to have a family with them, the glazed look, dude, 1,000-cock stare, it's already over. Her eyes, it's soulless. Her energy drained. Her hope gone. And this is typically what happens with chicks after 30 because all the 20s and the experience and the independence that they've had backfires on them. Now they're so emotionally damaged that when a decent man comes through, they'll never be able to settle and be happy. This is what men are trying to avoid. You can never make these people happy because they're always looking for happiness in other people. And they've done it so long that they've become so damaged that they don't even know how to fix themselves anymore. Therapy's not going to help because these people will never put accountability on themselves that they're the problem. It's men's fault. Men are trash. That's why you will never be fixed because you're always blaming an outside source instead of looking deep within. It's very hard, man, to find a woman with the self-accountability, the critical thinking skills, and the introspection to understand that she was the problem or that she needs to avoid this kind of behavior because this is where it leads. Right? Where do you find these people today? They're very far, few in between. It's unfortunate. So that is why most of the dating pool is trash. And this applies to men too. Men just get burned in different ways, basically by being ignored. And that comes with its own slew of problems where men will retreat and become hermits because what's the point in trying? You can't even afford to go out on a date. You got foodie called a few times. You got flaked on the other half. It's just a minefield in its own right. And the women you're forced to date because the only options that say yes to are like single women with like 2 or 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, you know, emotional damage up the wazoo. And you're just sick of it, bro. You're getting scraps yourself. And you've managed to build a decent life for yourself where you're financially responsible, busted your ass, worked up in your career and got promoted to some mid-level management. You're earning decent money and you just want a decent woman, but all you got left is single mothers and like obese chicks. So I don't know. It's like that funny.
That's why I like listening to the Legion of Man, yo. He perfecto on women and men, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, it's we all simps. We all simps, all right? We was born to simp, and it depends on action or listening. Now, if you want to go through it in action, you're going to go through it with a woman, right? But if you listen and you hear, you could avoid all that shit, right? And move a certain way, right? So now going back to being a virgin and embracing it and use it as a tool and a strategy, either directly and getting indirect answers from a woman not by her voice, but her action. So if she ghosts you, I showed you a couple times how she's going to ghost you. Be my guest and ghost me. Because now I know your self-interest is more than working mutual. As a virgin, if you're a virgin, I'm a virgin, let's be mutual and let's work on how we feel. But if you don't feel that way, go ahead, kick them rocks, yo. If you're already a woman that has experience, don't worry, she's going to move on anyway. She's going to ghost you anyway. So now I'm trying to show you how important it is, because everybody see a relationship with love and physical attraction, but it gets more deeper than that, yo. It gets more deep. Let me give an example. Since men are the gateway to relationships, let me give you some fast. You ever notice like high school sweethearts and you got like an NBA player or somebody and they keep rocking with that woman? There's a reason. I'm telling you as a man, there's a reason. that sometimes you have that. Now, like I said, money changed human beings, right? So even though that man is rocking with that young girl since high school, things can change, all right? But the baseline is that the man still was rocking her for a long period of time, right? And like I said, a man shows his loyalty when he has everything. So I'm not just doing one side, I'm doing both sides here, right? So now, let me give you another example. My man, I don't know, I haven't done any research on him, but the last thing I know, he's still married. My man, Denzel Washington, okay? So there's a percentage of men that's still married and can move on decades with a woman, right? Let me give you another example. Indirectly, if you have a dog or a cat, right? You walk that dog, you had that dog since a puppy, all right? Man or woman. You had that dog since a puppy. And you love that dog. You know what that dog did to you? That dog put in love in you, memories in you. That's what that dog did. And guess what? You would take that same dog, have time and patience to walk that dog, even if it's limping, even if it's old, when it's time to go up those stairs, you will carry that dog. Do you understand what I'm talking about? You will carry that dog all the way up those stairs. You know why? Because you have a bond, you have a connection, you have memories. As a child growing up, that dog is getting older, right? But you have some kind of bond, right? Now, sometimes let me give you another example. Wow. Why a relationship is so important between a man and a woman. A mother has a boy. I'm going to work on the boy, a child, right? Now, this man grows up, but she nurtured this man. She nurtures this man, yo. That breast went to his mouth and he breastfed and grew him up and blah, 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 and so on and so on. So no matter what that man looked like, I don't care if that nigga's 7 feet tall. When that mother look at that man, she also see a baby. She also see a baby. And one thing you get out your mother that you can't get out of nobody in this motherfucking streets is that loyalty that she's going to love you unconditionally. She's going to have your back. That's the majority of the time. Now, I don't know about in this era because they're trying to squeeze away sympathy and empathy from human beings. Okay? This is why I say it's so important to be in a relationship. But it's over. It's over. There's no winning no more. There's no winning no more. I told you where this is going. To the synthetic humans. Right? But they're taking away sympathy and empathy. If you didn't care about that dog, that old dog that you grew up with, the first thing that you going to do if you have no sympathy and empathy, you're not going to help him. You're not going to hold that dog go up those stairs. Right? Soon as he has a problem, euthanize him. It's over. I don't want it no more. I can replace you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? Same thing with a mother. She's nurturing you. It's unconditional. And see, this is what they don't want. The interaction of a man and woman no more. And one gender is falling for it way deep. And they don't even see this. Not going to point no fingers. Because like right now, everything is mutual right now. Because like I said, man got characteristics of women. And women got characteristics of a man. So to me, it's over. I already told you in the beginning of my video, this is an hour long, that we're going to synthetic humans. And that's it. That's what it is. Okay? Maybe not in when I'm living, maybe not in Gen Z. But God, if Gen Z is so effed up right now, what do you expect? Don't worry about what you're not going to do with a synthetic human. The next generation. So what you're seeing now, you're going to be dead and gone. My generation. And you're not going to understand it. But I'm seeing it right now. I'm seeing it right now. Society is trying to take away sympathy and empathy from human beings' interaction. The more they got to split up, the easier they can move with their agenda. Okay? Like I always say in my videos, it's not about race. It's not about gender. It's not about your sexuality and what you want. It's not your preference and all that shit. To me, everything is on class warfare. And the more they separate us and the more they distract us, they're going to get what they want. Don't you see? You don't think they're going to replace your relationships with synthetic fucking humans? You don't see it? They're replacing you at your job already. AI is going to replace you at the majority of these jobs already. So all I'm saying is, use your virginity as a tool so you could get rid of these vampires, succubus, parasites, and leeches, and people with self-interest. You got to get them out of your way and find the real ones. A needle in a haystack. That's all it is. But you have to be truthful. Listen, going on dates, I know that's impossible, but be indirect. What do you like to do as a man? Do you like to run? Join a running team. Do you like to read books? Join a book team. Read some books. You like to be in the gym? Find a woman that's in the gym. And I'm not talking about those fake ones, because I know there's real ones in the gym that's dedicated and determination, and they working out, and it's not about what they're wearing and their eyelashes long and they caked up with a whole bunch of makeup and all this shit trying to get a man. I see the real ones and I see the fake ones. Just like they fake ones in the church, there's fake ones in the gym. Hello, all right? So you got to be, take the superficial shit out your mind and look for the natural, regular women. When you're at gym, if she ain't wearing makeup, you know what she look like when she's going to wake up. Lip gloss and a little bit, you know what she's going to look like when she wake up. All right? All that caked up shit, they there for a man. They there for a man. Let me tell you what I do in the gym. Now, at this moment, this is what I do. Now, what you say? What you say, lady? Oh, you do it because you don't want the women to look at you when you look at their ass. Yeah. But more powerful than what you think is, I don't want to give them no satisfaction. Let me explain something to you right now at this moment, and it's very crucial. 2 things that woman would do to you. If you're not her type, she would turn you into stone like motherfucking Medusa. If she had the power, she would turn you to motherfucking stone like motherfucking Medusa. The other part is, if you're looking at her, she would tax your ass. Yeah, that'll be $5. If this is what they could do, that'll be $10. Look at OnlyFans. Look at OnlyFans. There's women that's smart and beautiful, and there's just women that's just beautiful and not smart. And what you think they're going to do to get over on a man? OnlyFans. Because men are stupid, okay? And they think with this down here, right? I'm here. I tested this before they think about this up here. But you got to learn how to be smart now. Before, we ain't care about credit score. You better care about credit score. But we didn't care what they used to do. Listen, man. Being a virgin, use it to your advantage. And indirectly, bring it up if you're in a book reading club or a running club, and you with men and women, and after you have a session of running, y'all go get coffee and be on a long ass line for the best coffee or the best bread or whatever. Bring it up. Now, indirectly, she heard it. Maybe if she only had 5 on her hand that she slept with, maybe she got a chance to revive herself. But this is the end of the video. And I'm just letting you know, I'll be doing more videos like this on the boxing channel until I feel like doing the other channel. But it's Captain Fuji. You'll see the logo of a tiger, because I stand alone when it comes to certain situations, my beliefs, and I'm very independent. I don't roll with the sheep, and sometimes I notice in boxing there's a lot of male fans, and no matter what that boxer does, they're always right. And what I'm seeing is a lot of infatuation with boxers in a sexual way. So even when they're wrong, no matter how wrong they are, they're right. So sometimes I give up on boxing. I love the boxing channel, but I'll be doing another channel in the future. But for now, I just put it on this channel. And I come and go. I'm sorry I don't have an email for you to contact me. Sorry I don't have Instagram. Sorry I don't have Rumble. Sorry I don't have Facebook. I stand alone. I move along. I do things on my own time. I am a tiger. I'm not a lion. I'm sorry. So I get down when I feel like it. And you might not hear from me a month or 2. But stay tuned to the channel, and I'll be doing more videos on this. I have a lot of ideas, and when I'm ready, I'll do it. All right, and if you don't see, you don't see it. I'm sorry. If you got Instagram or Facebook and you want to use this as an example of being a virgin, go ahead, enjoy. You could send it out, whatever. But I'm not asking for anything from you. I'm not gonna even say the words. It is what it is. Like I usually say on my boxing channel, yeah, I say, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines. It's not what they say, it's what they're not saying. I mix the lies with the truth and the truth with the lies. But at the end of the day, you know you love lies because the truth hurts. I'm out. One.